Hello?
Hey, it's Billy.
Billy!
How you doing? What's going on?
I got something important here, all right? I'm getting married.
What?
Wow.
To that young lady who's half your age?
Hey, wait a minute. She's almost 32.
I have a hemorrhoid that's almost 32.
So we're gonna have a bachelor party in Vegas.
I can't smoke, drink, eat salt, or stay out past 9, but...
All right, I love it.
This week, Shane and I are discussing Michael Douglas, Kevin Kline, Robert De Niro, and Morgan Freeman in the 2013 old man comedy Last Vegas. This is Boy Party. Hello and welcome to Boy Party, the podcast about movies, where four major stars are brought out of retirement to do a sort of hangover knockoff for old men that sees a group of curmudgeonly octogenarians head to the party city of the USA to spend a weekend being sleazy, being lecherous towards younger women, and partying with LMFAO. It is Last Vegas. My name is Lucien Daly, and I am joined by the only man I would be ringing up at the age of 82 to invite to my bachelor party when I'm marrying a much younger woman. It's Shane Kelly.
Good afternoon.
Are we and our two close male friends going on a Las Vegas trip in our early 80s, late 70s?
I mean,
Or we'd be going
I think
somewhere?
it'd have to be a weird state of affairs to get you to go to Vegas.
I do think
'cause
me going-
you're
yeah.
the last person I think that wants to go to Vegas. I think even morbid curiosity. Just
I have
to-
a morbid curiosity.
Yeah.
It's in enough films. I have no interest. Also, I am kind of into gambling in a healthy way.
I was just about to say I couldn't bring you to Vegas because you would get hooked on
Exactly.
something.
Like, I'm not into the kind of the sleazy, scuzzy elements of it, but the kind of big casino, silly gambling
I
culture.
like pressing buttons.
Yeah,
party
totally
brain,
easy to
trigger.
persuade me to get into that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's top of my list. I think if we were to go on an old man trip, 40, how many years from now are we going to be going on an old man trip? 50 years from now? We'll be going to
Greece.
We'll be going to above the surface for a quick look before we go back down to the silo. That's where we're going to be going on holiday.
Oh, Jesus.
And welcome to our Last Vegas episode. This is a true case of movie that nobody has watched in years, but is quintessential boy party material. It's kind of hard not to cover something like Las Vegas, which is a real, the actors' names are bigger than the title on the poster type shenanigan. Douglas, De Niro, Freeman, Kline, Las Vegas.
Like it's a film that was only made because you could get the guys.
Yeah, like it's rare that we discuss films on this podcast where the pitch that the producers would have done for financing was exactly the same as the premise of the podcast, which is, wouldn't it be crazy if these four guys were in a movie together and we had their names on the poster? And you're like, yes, that's worth doing just to see what happens, I guess.
Yep.
But nobody's watched Last Vegas in years. We're digging it out for this episode. We hope that you enjoy listening to this episode, regardless of whether or not you've watched the movie. We hope you enjoyed last week's episode, the 2 weeks ago's episode about Glengarry Glen Ross, one of which the stars, Alec Baldwin, has now premiered his show The Baldwins on TBS this week.
Is that a boy party? Alec and Hilaria?
Alec and Hilaria, and then their 7 children, yeah. So check out The Baldwins on TLC. This episode is brought to you by The Baldwins, now on TLC. That's The Baldwins, THEBALDWIN.
Apostrophe.
No apostrophe.
No apostrophe.
S. So Las
Grammar's
Vegas
getting
is a movie with 5 Oscar-winning actors in it. We have Douglas, we have De Niro, we have Freeman, we have Kline, and we have Mary Steenburgen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we realized as we were watching that this movie had 5 Oscar-winning actors, and then I went down a rabbit hole for several days of trying to basically guess from without looking up explicitly how many movies there were that featured 5 or more Oscar-winning actors, because it's actually very hard to get 5 Oscar-winning actors in a movie because,
I mean, yeah.
a lot of Oscar-winning actors are dead. A lot of people win Oscars multiple times, which clogs up the drain, the conveyor belt.
Oscar-winning actors tend to be busy.
They're busy, they're expensive, and they're of, very different generations, very different styles. They come from different countries. So, very hard. I have, however, assembled a list of movies with 5 Oscar-winning actors. Now, there are 2 versions of this game we can play. There's a version of the game where I give you the movie and you name the 5 actors, or there's a version where I name the 5 actors and you guess the movie. Which one do you think would be more fun for the listeners? or would you be able to do it all?
Can you alternate based on what you think?
No, that'll require too much thinking. And it is 9:30 at night. Will we do the?
Like, giving me the actors is kind of like the game we used to play. So
We'll do the giving you the actors game.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. This movie features 5 Oscar-winning actors who are Academy Award winner Emma Stone, Academy Award winner Viola Davis, Academy Award winner Octavia Spencer, Academy Award winner Jessica Chastain, Academy Award winner Allison Janney, and Academy Award winner Sissy Spacek.
6.
6.
This is The Help.
The Help. And Cicely Tyson apparently has a honorary. Sorry, to be clear, Mary Steenburgen also in this movie. So there are 7 debate and arguably 8 if you count the honorary Oscar. There you go. That's extraordinary.
Mary Steenburgen, just everywhere.
That's incredible. All right, here's a new one. All right, here we go. This one could get bumped up one at the weekend as well. So we've got Academy Award winner Benicio del Toro, Academy Award winner Adrian Brody, Academy Award winner Tilda Swinton, Academy Award winner Frances McDormand, and who's the other one? There's definitely another. Oh, Academy Award winner Christoph Waltz. And there's one more in here that might bump up the number on Sunday.
So someone who's nominated.
Correct, yeah.
Oh, we discussed these a few weeks ago. I should remember. So McDormand,
We
Swinton.
got Del Toro, Brody, Swinton, McDormand, and Waltz. And another one that's
This isn't a
pending.
Coen thing.
Not Cohen, no. Who else has big ensembles? People who may not necessarily actually be in scenes together, but they're all in the movie.
They're all
here and there.
The PTA.
No.
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 Tarantino.
No. Come on. Who works with Adrian Brody? Tilda Swinton. Okay, we have this enough.
Who's the director?
This movie is The French Dispatch, right?
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
All right.
obviously.
Here's one more. I'll do 2 or 3
Christ,
more.
I knew that one.
Right. Next one. This one stars Academy Award winner Marion Cotillard, Academy Award winner Nicole Kidman, Academy Award winner Penelope Cruz, Academy Award winner Judi Dench, Academy Award winner Sophia Loren, and Academy Award winner Daniel Day-Lewis. I'm giving you 5 seconds.
DDL. This
5,
isn't the
4,
Macbeth.
3, 2, 1. The movie's called 9, and we watched it a few weeks ago.
we did.
You watched it? Okay,
Yeah.
There you go. Well done.
Shout out Argentina.
Yeah. What's that got to do with 9?
Oh, I'm thinking of Evita.
You're thinking of Evita. 9 is the Cinema Italiano.
Italian.
Yeah.
Cinema Italian.
All right. Academy Award winner Kathy Bates. Academy Award winner Jamie Foxx. Academy Award winner Anne Hathaway. Academy Award winner Shirley MacLaine. Academy Award winner Julia Roberts. Giving you 5 seconds on this one.
What?
The year is 2010.
2010.
Correct.
Jamie Foxx, Anne Hathaway.
4, 3, 2, 1. The movie is Valentine's Day.
Oh, I wouldn't have got that.
You wouldn't have got that.
No.
All right. I'll do 2 more.
I'm not familiar.
2 more, folks. Here's a fun one. This movie stars Academy Award winner Jennifer Lawrence, Academy Award winner Meryl Streep, Academy Award winner Kate Blanchett, Academy Award winner Mark Rylance, Academy Award winner Leonardo DiCaprio.
Do not look up.
Do not look up. Finally, Academy Award winner Matthew McConaughey. Academy Award winner Sandra Bullock. Academy Award winner Kevin Spacey. Academy Award winner Brenda Fricker. And Academy Award winner Chris Cooper. This movie's from 1996.
96. I was like,
Yeah.
American Beauty? No.
96.
96.
McConaughey is first billed.
Okay.
The movie is A Time to Kill,
Time to Kill.
which I've never seen. That's a great cast.
Wouldn't have got
I
that.
didn't know Brenda Fricker was in that.
A lot of good Southern accents.
I
in
know,
that
yeah.
film.
So some other movies with 5 Academy Award winners. We got Oppenheimer, The Dark Knight Rises, Ocean's 12, but not the other ones. Interstellar, Burn After Reading, Shortcuts, Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet, which is the record. I think it has 9 or 10.
Sorry, Hamlet. Yeah.
Yeah, the Network has 5, because fucking half of them, like most of them, won for Network.
Yeah.
Avengers Endgame has more than 5, which is that's an easy one. Come on now. I mean, Downey has one.
Downey has one.
Robert Redford's in that movie.
Oh God.
Let's see who else is in there.
Sam Jackson.
It's people down the list, like Brie Larson.
Brie Larson. Oh God.
It's people who are down the list. Zoe Saldana will have one in a few days. Tilda Swinton's in that. Natalie Portman, Marissa Tomei. There you go. Michael Douglas. Does Michelle Pfeiffer have an Oscar?
Who's Michael Douglas?
I don't think so. William Hurt. Michael Douglas is in Avengers Endgame. Anyway, Las Vegas is a part of a trend of old man kind of hijinks movies from the mid-2010s. This is sort of the only one that doesn't involve criminality of any kind. So there's two others that spring to mind for me. One is called Stand Up Guys with Pacino, Walken, and Alan Arkin, which is really good. Yeah. And they play like they're kind of doing a robbery or something. And then there's another one also about a robbery, which is called Going in Style, which is a remake of a John McTiernan movie. I'm trying to remember who made Going in Style, which Zach Braff directed, and is Michael Caine and Alan Arkin and Morgan Freeman. And then there's an English one.
Alan Arkin just in all these.
He's in a lot of them. And then there's one called King of Thieves, which is, I think, Michael Caine, Michael Gambon, Tom Wilkinson, Tom Courtenay.
Operation Mincemeat.
Yeah, English
like,
boys in London, like cheeky 60s English guys. So there's a couple of these.
Would you include like the likes of Red in this, or is that
Red's a little younger, but sure, yeah.
Is that Willis, Helen Mirren?
Also, Red is like a more aggressive movie. These are like gentle films.
Yeah, these are gentle.
Red is a lot of
these are
guns
like
and
nursing
assassins.
home movies.
Yeah, these are nursing home movies. Like guys in nursing home do a crazy adventure. So this one's very mild. It's really just a kind of a Vegas vaguely sexual comedy, but like barely.
Yeah, it's like what if the boys got a boner?
Yeah. It's not very good. It's a 2-star film. I don't think it's great. I've watched it twice. I read my review that I wrote of it when I was 15 on BuzzHub.
Its gentleness makes it forgivable.
Yes, exactly. It's so harmless that I think it doesn't deserve getting mad at, but it's not good at all. It is directed by our boy, the great John Turteltaub, director of National Treasure and National Treasure Book of Secrets. John Turteltaub directed this immediately after The Sorcerer's Apprentice bombed, which was his sort of national treasure with wizards.
Yeah.
A famous bomb which killed the chances of National Treasure 3.
And the obvious response to having a kind of like a genre fantasy thing with is to just like scrap any idea of that and just get the most famous people you can imagine, put them in a movie and just like don't care, this will work.
Yeah. He this film weirdly is like an independent film. This is not a studio movie, which is the most interesting thing about the fact that it has 5 Oscar winners. It is definitely the only movie with 5 Oscar winners probably ever made that is like an independent film.
But then again, if you were trying to get independent financing, if you had these 4 guys lined up and you said, hey, do you want to give me a couple of dollars for my movie?
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
They had the money. It's produced by Lawrence Mark and Nathan Cahan. These are real producers. They did Julie and Julia, Dreamgirls, iRobot, because it gets. These are guys who have been up at the Oscars many a time. So they obviously had connections to get these actors. They got the script by Dan Fogelman, who is best known as creator of This Is Us and Only Murders in the Building. And he also wrote and directed he wrote the movie The Guilt Trip, which is a boy party with Seth Rogen and Barbara Streisand. He wrote Crazy Stupid Love. He wrote Danny Collins, which is a Pacino movie, and he wrote and directed the terrible film Life Itself.
So what's the order of getting something like this made? Who's the first person to get the chain going?
I don't know.
To knock the first domino?
I guess something happens there with the producers and the writer. They have a A-list screenwriter who's produced the script. A bad writer in my opinion, but he's well known and many awards. The producers obviously are able to secure financing, and then at a certain point you persuade the guys to do it, and one domino falls, and once Douglas is on board, Nero's on board, and then the other guys are on board, and apparently Nicholson was in talks to do it at one point, which is interesting.
Is this,
and then the movie gets made.
Is this a case where these actors have relationships with producers?
I'm sure, yeah. They either have relationships with the producers, or the producer is probably a golfing buddy of their agent, you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of that shit. Like, these old producer, rich white man guys can get a phone call made to Michael Douglas very easily.
Yeah.
Michael Douglas, funnily enough, a kind of a major great producer in his own right. You could very solidly argue that Michael Douglas is a far better producer than he is an actor. He famously won the Best Picture Oscar for producing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest before he ever got any attention as an actor. 12 years before his Best Actor win for Wall Street, he won that Best Picture Oscar. And he has produced many great films over the years.
And did he give the speech then when they won that?
I don't know. It's a good question. I'm sure he was there.
Yeah.
He would have been famous at the time from his TV work. But he obviously is the son of one of the great movie stars of all time, Kirk Douglas. So he's being kind of primed from a young age to be interested in filmmaking and in the business, and obviously had a good perspective to become a good producer in his... Because I'm looking, what
Does
age?
he have famous children himself?
Does he have famous children? That's a good question. He doesn't. His son's Cameron Douglas is his son, who I think was in some trouble with the law. Yeah, he did time in jail for drug stuff.
Third generation Nepo baby.
Yeah, he is an actor, the son. But he's never been in anything I've heard of. He is the the son of, I suppose, his first wife. He only got married to Catherine Zeta-Jones in 2000, which I guess lines up with them. They must have met during production on Traffic. Because that's when that was being made. But he is a great producer and an okay actor and a bad person in that order.
Oh, that was my next question. How's he doing?
So he's a big fan of the state of Israel. Okay. And he loves to defend it and defend the various things that they do to their neighbors in Palestine. So I have no time for him in that sense. There was also allegations in 2018 of sexual misconduct towards an assistant that he had in the 80s. I would say that accusations of sexual misconduct against Michael Douglas, who is the human embodiment of the entire concept of sexual misconduct, is unfortunate but not surprising.
Do you want to hear what the top result under legal issues Michael Douglas Wikipedia page is?
No. What is it?
In 1997. New York caddy James Parker sued Douglas for $25 million. Parker accused Douglas of hitting him in the groin with an errant golf ball, causing Parker great distress.
Oh, that's fantastic.
The case was later settled out of court.
He gets up to some funny business. So obviously there was this famous story in about 15 years ago where he was diagnosed with throat cancer.
Yeah.
And someone said to him, how are you getting on? How did you figure out you had throat cancer?
Stage 4.
Do you have any idea where you got throat cancer? And he said something along the lines of, I got throat cancer from performing so much cunnilingus on my wife.
I remember this.
Which is a really funny thing to say and imply. I think he was completely serious when he said it, and I do respect that. But he is a slimy prick, and I don't like him. He is a Democrat, at least. He's donated to Obama, to Al Franken, to Edward Markey, to Michael Bloomberg, to Joe Biden. Just all the boys. They're all Democrats. They were at one point or another.
Yeah.
Okay,
so he's weirdly...
He's a major supporter of gun control since the murder of John Lennon in 1980. I like that was his... he's an advocate of nuclear disarmament. He's involved in some good stuff. I definitely is like... but the Israeli thing is kind of hard to get past for me, obviously, because it's just unnecessary. And like Robert De Niro, another famous outspoken Democrat, I'm not aware of Robert De Niro's stance on Israel, but at worst he keeps it to himself, and that's better than Michael Douglas, who I know has been going on Bill Maher in the last 6 months being an asshole. So fuck him. But he is the quintessential 90s scuzzy sleazebag. In a way that you have to admire. He defines an entire era of kind of sleazy movies. I will always associate him with just hearing my grandfather watching films at 1 o'clock in the morning on TCM and being like, that's some Michael Douglas shit. Just some Michael Douglas shit that is not appropriate for me to watch.
You're seeing some slick back hair. Like, voice.
He's like the sloppy steaks definitive purchaser. Like, so we both watched his Academy Award winning performance in Wall Street.
We did
the past few days, which is just not a lead performance. He is a supporting actor in that film. I'd say he is in that film 1/3 as much as Kieran Culkin is in A Real Pain, but let's not get caught up in that.
No,
he is pretty good in it, but he's just doing his Michael Douglas shtick. It doesn't feel super revolutionary to watch it now, I don't think.
Not really, but I guess that is kind of the definitive Michael Douglas performance.
Would there be a DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street without Douglas in Wall Street? Maybe not. Is he sort of the patient zero of Wall Street?
This particular type of Wall Street culture.
Blowhard guys, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, this isn't...
I just don't find those guys that interesting. The guy with the microphone at the front of the room shouting at people in a financial environment doesn't interest me. What I like is the guys in industry or the Giovanni Ribisi character in Boiler Room who are doing their, scummy money business behind closed doors. Even the guys at Margin Call or whatever.
Yeah.
Or Glengarry. I guess I find those characters who are kind of like backroom guys more interesting.
But I think the weird thing about this is that the glamorous side of the evils that Michael Douglas is committing are less kind of glamorized and explicit compared to like the Wolf of Wall Street, but yet this is still a character that's kind of been adopted as like an icon of the Wall Street lifestyle. Even though it's very explicit that he's very like a
similar,
bad guy.
very similar to what we were talking about with Baldwin and Glengarry, though.
Yeah,
I think that there's like greed is good monologue taken out of context has the same effect on people as Always Be Closing, where it's like the kind of the satirical edge of this film, which we know Oliver Stone to be a satirical left-wing filmmaker. At least he was, like, is very present, and yet people, I guarantee you, in dorms, finance bro motherfuckers in the 1990s had posters of Gordon Gekko on their wall.
Yeah, when like the key plot point of Wall Street is that he betrays a man who is like good to him and helps him out.
Yeah, he's the villain of the film,
100%.
Which is why it's actually super interesting that he won Best Actor at the Oscars, because it's like a rare pure like villain character who does who gets treated as like the best lead actor of the year. But he is good in it, and that's his only Oscar. I'm trying to see, does he have any further nominations? I don't think so. I think it's the win for Cuckoo's Nest, and it's that.
Is he one of these kind of always a lead, never or does he kind of resign to being a guy that shows up later on?
Kind of. He's in a TV show for years in the 70s called The Streets of San Francisco, which my parents watched the whole thing like a year ago on YouTube, and it's a great show. It's all shot like not to quote our friends Johnny B and Johnny Smacks, but the streets of San Francisco.
It's actually about Michael Douglas.
It's about Michael Douglas. That is a show that's like shot on location on the hills of San Francisco of him as a cop. It's a very fun watch. You're right though. He is rarely a supporting actor, but
Michael Douglas has his Bachelor of Arts in Drama from the University of California, Santa Barbara.
Well done to him. Your alma mater.
Briefly.
Yeah. Do you want to guess? Well, I want to run through some of his films, but do you want to guess first the ranking of the box office totals of the four boys in this film?
Freeman number 1.
Okay, you're saying Freeman number 1. You are correct. Yes. I think this is pretty easy.
De Niro, Kline, Douglas.
De Niro, Douglas, Kline.
De Niro, Douglas, Kline.
Freeman.
I thought Kevin Kline might have some sneaky.
Yeah, Freeman. We've got 11. Kline has some sneaky.
Okay.
But these other guys have way more sneaky.
Yeah, see, I don't really know much about Kevin.
Well, I know so much about Kevin Kline.
You do.
By the way, folks, we're not going to talk about De Niro or Freeman very much in this episode. I think we saved them. There's so many other movies we can talk about them.
Have we not got them yet?
We've never done either of them. No. But there's other films we could do in the next couple of months dealing with the two of them. So I'd rather focus on Douglas and Kline, who are like guys I'm interested in recently.
Like we could have done Wall Street in a way, but
we could have done Wall Street in a way. I don't have much to say about Charlie Sheen.
No.
Wall Street Money Never Sleeps might be more interesting, to be honest. But we're talking about Michael Douglas.
Yeah, Michael Douglas.
Okay, Morgan Freeman his movies have made $11 billion. He's surely in the top sort of 10 or 15 of all time. You've got actually only $2 billion grossers up there, which is interesting. De Niro's movies have made $7 billion.
Couple of fuckers in there.
Only $1 billion grosser in De Niro in his career. You have 5 seconds to tell me what that is. The answer is Joker.
Yeah.
Then we have Michael Douglas with $4.4 billion, and he has got no $1 billion grossers.
Not surprised.
But
wait,
all
is he not? Did you not say he shows up in
Avengers Endgame is not on his box office.
He's too minor.
I think it's a cameo. The Ant-Man trilogy are all on here, though. Those movies have made 600, 500, and 400 million, respectively.
So they make up almost half of his career box office.
But the Michael Douglas vehicles that are hits, you're talking these are R-rated sex thrillers.
Yeah.
For
adults.
for creeps, for perverts.
Okay.
Basic Instinct, $350 million.
Fuck off.
Fatal Attraction, $320 million. Disclosure, $212 million. Traffic, $208 million. Wall Street 2, $137 million. That's 15 years ago. Black Rain, $133 million. That's insane.
Wall Street, the original.
No. Wall Street 2.
Wall Street 2.
Wall Street, the original, actually didn't make that much money. It made $43 million.
Not bad for
It kind of
80,
interesting that
87,
it's the one that got a sequel greenlit.
I guess just
it was
the
iconic.
years of people with the posters on
Yeah.
the wall, just like
True. But my favorite Michael Douglas movie is a film called Wonder Boys, which is really, really charming. Kind of, it's actually got a lot in common with the Kevin Kline movie, The Ice Storm. These are two films I really like. They both feature Tobey Maguire in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they are both chilly, wintry college campus Connecticut films that have a really specific atmosphere that I find absolutely compelling. Wonder Boys is also the movie for which Bob Dylan won his Oscar for Best Original Song. It is a film directed by LA Confidential director Curtis Hanson, and it's written by the guy who wrote all the Harry Potter movies. It's a weird film, but it's got Douglas and McDormand and Robert Downey Jr. and Tobey Maguire and Katie Holmes, and it's just like a interesting movie about like a professor and his student and their relationship, and it's good. I recommend checking it out. I think Michael Douglas is great in that. I would nominate him.
And does he play nice straight man or is he slimy?
Nice guy in that. He plays a Kevin Kline type.
Really?
That's the
Okay.
weird thing. He's the poster, if you can come around and see it, is just him like this. I'm doing a really good impression of it. It's just him like that. It's just his nice warm face. It's the only poster where they've ever made Michael Douglas look like a gentle grandpa.
That makes me uncomfortable.
I like it. I think it works.
It's so close up.
He plays Grady Tripp. Yeah, well, there's no
Grady
other way to
Tripp.
market this boring ass movie. But
God.
it's
Do you not
good.
like it?
No, I do. It's good. It's good. It's not boring. It's not boring.
okay.
It was a flop though. No one likes Michael Douglas when he plays friendly grandpa.
No.
Only when he plays
Everyone's just too suspicious the entire time.
slimy. He's is he in Face Off? No, he executive produced Face Off. I'm telling you, a great producer.
Great producer.
Are there any other Michael Douglas films I'm particularly fond of? Not really. He was in this show, The Kaminsky Method, for years with Alan Arkin,
yeah.
which kept winning awards, and people would always just joke. And there's like every time Io Berry would be on Blank Check, she would joke about how she was the creator of Kaminsky Method.
Yeah.
And I think you text me once, like, is that true?
No, I didn't.
You did. Someone
No, I
did.
didn't.
Someone did.
It wasn't me. Anyway.
Okay, fine.
Sorry,
Someone
but I did
Kaminsky
watch.
Method is a fake show.
I did watch 3 episodes of the Kaminsky Method on a plane to the States once.
Yes.
They had it on the airplane.
It's not good. The problem with the Kaminsky Method is that it's from the creator of The Big Bang Theory, Chuck Lorre. It's not made by smart people. It's a good show in theory. It's about an old acting teacher and his student and all this.
Yeah.
Anyway, the show ended, and I literally think Alan Arkin dropped dead like the day they shot the last episode. Like he was staying alive just to make the Kaminsky Method. But
Glad it wrapped up.
and then since then, Douglas was in the show about Benjamin Franklin on Apple last year, where he played Benjamin Franklin.
Oh, and he looks insane.
He just looks ridiculous. He looks
Yeah.
like a ghost on the poster. He's so pale. They've doused him in white makeup. He's in the Robert Zemeckis movie Romancing the Stone with Kathleen Turner, which is fine. He is really good in The China Syndrome, which is the Jane Fonda, Jack Lemmon sort of nuclear panic movie, which I love. Which is basically they discover a meltdown at a power plant and they try to deal with the cover up. And Michael Douglas is.
I think I learned last week that the China Syndrome came out a week before 3 Mile Island nuclear disaster.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That would scare the shit out of you if you went to see that. And then it happened. But he plays the sexy cameraman and he has like long hair and a beard. He's great in it. We've also discussed before that the China Syndrome is one of the great titles ever.
Oh, fantastic.
The China Syndrome is so good. So that's Michael Douglas for you. I respect his place in the history of modern cinema. However, wouldn't call him one of my guys and won't mourn him too terribly when he passes, other than a sort of he had his moment.
I like that he brought a bit of eroticism to the movies.
Yeah, like I think his energy is unique, and for that, I'm glad he's around.
Do we have that type of guy anymore?
No, you're not allowed. You get cancelled if you're like that.
You
these days.
exclusively do kind of.
There are no erotic thrillers anymore.
No.
The director of half of these Michael Douglas movies went and made the Ben Affleck movie with Ana de Armas.
Oh, yeah,
And Ben Affleck is not the guy to be doing Michael Douglas parts, I'm afraid. I'm trying to think if there's been another. Like, Gyllenhaal could maybe do it, but Presumed Innocent didn't really work in that regard. Obviously, that was a Harrison Ford role.
That is a Harrison Ford role.
But Gyllenhaal is like the kind of guy you can imagine doing this stuff. It's
He's-
tough. Half the movie stars these days are Australian guys. No one has that same energy of like Nepo baby, sleazy, gray hair prematurely. Like I guess another movie we didn't mention is Falling Down, which is like a kind of a racist rampage across LA movie with him just kind of killing ethnic people. Not great.
Yeah. And he's also like incredibly orange in this film.
He's orange in a lot of films. So in this film, he is the guy who's getting married to a younger wife, which makes sense. Of these four guys, he's the one who would have a younger wife because he famously has a younger wife. But his wife in this is very young. And he invites De Niro and Kline and Freeman to join him in Vegas. De Niro harbors a lot of resentment because Douglas didn't go to his wife's funeral a couple of years prior.
Yeah.
So he's like, why should I show up for you? You didn't show up for me at my moment of need. And Douglas is like, yeah, forget about it. It doesn't matter. The movie basically just involves a series of funny situations where the four boys go to parties and clubs and pool parties and an LMFAO concert. I will go through the soundtrack in just a moment. And they basically, get into some mishaps alongside a supporting cast that includes Mary Steenburgen, aforementioned, Michael Ealy, and the guy from Entourage.
I don't even think they do get into any mishaps.
They get into mishaps where as in by mishaps, I mean Kevin Kline brings a prostitute to his room.
Oh, yeah,
That's my definition of a mishap.
Sure. But again, his wife...
So what happens there? Let's read, because that's the most interesting.
Recap.
The only interesting thing that happens in this movie. So Kevin Kline's wife permits him to sleep with another woman on this trip.
She encourages
because he's so sexually frustrated.
Is it even that, or is it?
He,
he's just like, I need you to have a bit of life again. Like,
is he depressed? Is it erectile dysfunction? Is it a mix of things?
I think it's just general getting old.
Well, he does have pills on him, so there's definitely erectile dysfunction.
But again,
element.
These guys are in their 70s.
Well, that's going to happen with all of them. That's fine. Yeah. Not Michael Douglas. Oh no,
no.
He was cured of that many decades ago. But anyway,
unfortunately,
erectile dysfunction fears Michael Douglas. But so Kevin Kline then is like, well, I'm gonna act on that promise.
Yeah, his wife hands him a condom as he is getting out of the car at the airport.
Yeah, it's just what you want in your 70s. Yeah. So then the thing is, Kevin Kline is noticeably younger than these other guys, and I think the movie has to kind of overcompensate for that fact.
A bit of facial hair,
but yeah, making him look older, but also giving him the sort of the "you're too old to have sex" storyline.
Yeah.
But I guess the point is that he's the one of these. Maybe of these guys who actually can even consider a sexual encounter, whereas Morgan Freeman is just like, I am past that point.
Oh, he's so old.
And this movie is from 12 years ago, and Morgan Freeman is still acting. Anyway, so what happens to Kevin Kline then?
It turns out the prostitute is trans, I believe.
Oh, is that what happens? What? I don't remember that. That's another film we watched, isn't it?
Is it?
Is that?
No, because I remember you sitting there like, oh no, they're going to do the stupid fake panic, the panic fake out here.
Maybe you're right.
And Kevin Kline ended up just being like, oh, that's nice.
It's worth saying that Kevin Kline's character in this movie is called Sam Harris.
He's called Sam Harris.
Another Bill Maher guest, along with Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to look at the plot here, folks. Sam prepares to cheat on his wife with a young maid of honor, but cannot bring himself to do it. Is it De Niro who ends up with the trans person?
I don't think De Niro's
I think it
sexual
is.
at all. Oh, maybe.
No, it is. I think it... Oh, we can't remember. Sorry, folks. I think you're right, though. There is something with a trans person where there's an opportunity for a really cruel joke, and they take it in a pretty harmless direction.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, that was a mistake.
But it's a month we watched this ago. I don't remember. Sorry, folks.
Anyway, it was handled reasonably well.
It was handled reasonably well. I remember that. Yes. Then the movie basically just ends with them. 50 Cent also shows up.
Sorry, I think the main plot of this is that Michael Douglas meets Mary Steenburgen, and it's like, ooh, a woman closer to my age, maybe that'd be better for me.
Yes. It's kind of cheating that Mary Steenburgen, who is kind of objectively the youngest looking woman of that generation you could possibly put in that role, is the woman that pulls him out of his inappropriate age gap mindset. Because Mary Steenburgen would pass for 30 years younger than Michael Douglas on a good day. But, she is close to him in age, sort of, so we'll take it. And yes, the movie has this message of, I don't need to marry a woman in her 20s or 30s. Mary Steenburgen will do.
Yeah, it's nicer to have a wife that I can talk to.
Yes, than just this model that I've decided to marry. I mean...
No, there's a weird thing running throughout where, De Niro's also interested in Mary Steenburgen?
Yeah, he is. And De Niro like goes on a date with Mary Steenburgen. And I guess, is there kind of like a kind of a sad kind of surrender of De Niro is just like, well, I guess I'm still not over my dead wife.
I think so. I think that's how
there's no point me trying with someone else.
I think this is
it's
a bad De Niro
It's a bad De Niro performance. De Niro is the worst part of this.
I think so.
I wonder which role Nicholson was up for, but I would suspect it might have been the De Niro role. But like Nicholson works in the Douglas role or the De Niro role. But I think that De Niro is wrong in this. He also doesn't gel with the other three. I don't think De Niro has any chemistry with Douglas or Freeman.
He's playing it much straighter.
Yeah, those aren't his contemporaries. They're on very different wavelengths. Like De Niro works well with guys, with the obvious guys, with Pacino, Ray Liotta, and Joe Pesci and Harvey Keitel. I don't think that he works well with these guys. Nicholson might have worked better. You couldn't really cast Alan Arkin. Like it has to be like a kind of a guy who seems like he was on.
You could
top
have
at
Alan
one
Arkin
point.
doing the Kevin Kline bit.
You could have Alan Arkin, but I don't think the Kevin Kline character can be like De Niro can't be played by Kevin Kline. De Niro needs to be like a guy who's like old and authoritative, but old enough that
Anthony Hopkins.
I don't really
He's
know.
not American
Maybe
enough.
Pacino works better. Maybe, yeah. Stand Up Guys comes out the same year and is a much better film. Maybe Christopher Walken works better. I don't know. Christopher Walken's a bit too weird to play this role. But anyway, De Niro's the worst part, I think.
Dustin Hoffman in there somewhere.
Sure. Speaking of creeps. Freeman doesn't even register. Unfortunately, I feel that way in most films that Morgan Freeman is in. I don't really care for him as an actor. I think he's very one note. He just does his Morgan Freeman thing. And you're like, okay.
But
thank you, Morgan Freeman.
Does he have like...
He doesn't really transform.
Alzheimer's in this or something?
He always seems like he has Alzheimer's.
I think he is projected very much as the oldest one of the group.
Which I think he is.
And there is there's some bit where like he goes in and spends all his money in the casino because he's like,
it's
I'm on the way
let's
out.
get you to bed, Grandpa vibes about this.
There's a good gag of him climbing out the window.
There is, yes, and the window's on the ground floor. It's very good.
Ground floor.
No, that's all good. And then Kline is like just kind of happy to be there. But boy, am I happy to see him. I love Kevin Kline, folks. I've had a big Kline. I love Kevin Kline. I've had such a big Kline winter. I've just been Kline pilled to an insane degree, which weirdly began with Kline showing up on Disclaimer, which is this god awful show that Alfonso Cuarón directed that came out in the autumn, and it's so bad. And Kevin Kline plays like a creepy old guy whose son drowned 20 years earlier because a young Cate Blanchett had seduced him and brought him to the beach, and he had drowned trying to save her son. So he, in the present, enacts revenge on Cate Blanchett by sending her creepy things in the post, and then sort of catfishing her now 22-year-old son with a fake Instagram profile of his, pretending to be his own son, befriending Blanchett's son, and so that he can terrorize him and tear her family apart. It is a very bad performance in a very bad show. He's covered in old age makeup. He's made to look about 90 years old. I didn't even recognize him.
75?
He's like 75. But he looks like 85 in this. He looks terrible. And he's playing an English guy. It's awful. But it made me realize, like, what's Kevin Kline's deal? What's going on there? Because he's always someone I've never thought about that much. And I always kind of assumed he was boring and not worth pursuing as a subject of interest. And then I started watching some Kevin Kline movies, and folks, this guy's the best. He's great. He is a warm, kind presence who can switch like that to being kind of off-putting. He is ultimately kind of the actor that Kevin Spacey wishes he was. He can do the Jack Lemmon parts. He would be a much better casting as Lester Burnham in American Beauty. He does a similar enough role in The Ice Storm, a version of, which is a very American Beauty-esque film that is objectively a lot better.
Yes.
I would highly recommend everyone check out The Ice Storm, the Ang Lee movie. It's fantastic. Kevin Kline plays a middle class, upper middle class married man who's very bored, and him and his wife are pursuing kind of an alternative sexual lifestyle with going to swingers parties. And he has a whole thing with his daughter and all this. It doesn't have the kind of the nonce element that American Beauty does, but it does have a very similar father-daughter relationship with him and Christina Ricci, who is pretty indistinguishable from Thora Birch at that time. That is very similar to American Beauty, but played way more interesting and way more poetic. And that movie's beautiful, and he's amazing in it. And he just does a lot of like Kevin Spacey roles a lot better. I watched him in a movie called Life as a House, which is a film that people seem to hate because it's really cheesy and silly, but I really liked it, where he plays a guy dying of cancer who forces his weird goth son, Hayden Christensen, to build a house with him while he's dying, which I was very moved by. And
that does sound nice.
He's just like he does a lot of these sincere fatherly roles where you're like, you have such a kind face. Christina and I watched him in a rom-com with Meg Ryan called French Kiss, where he plays a like French guy who talks like this and has a mustache.
Sounds like Pink Panther.
Which the thing, he's in the Pink Panther. Oh. He does that same act in the Pink Panther remake.
Right.
And he won his Oscar for a fucking Fish Called Wanda, where he plays like a crazy European robber guy.
Yeah.
He's basically the last person who, unless you count like Jean Dujardin, he in The Artist, he's kind of the last person who ever won an acting Oscar for a complete comedic, cartoonish role with like no dramatic elements whatsoever, which you have to admire. But it is also such a fluke that he won that Oscar. Yeah. But it's just a case that he became this very respected kind of Shakespearean actor, and he's like a stage actor, and he does a lot of Shakespeare, and he's so well regarded in Broadway communities and such that people, I think, eventually in the 1980s were like, give this guy an Oscar.
Has he had any big stand-up Broadway roles?
I don't know, but he seems to have done most of the big Shakespearean leading men parts, like. But he has now produced a son, Owen Kline, who is the director of Funny Pages.
Yes.
And was in Baumbach's Squid and the Whale as a young boy. And he's great. He's a good actor, good director. And it's great that him and Kline were sitting together at the SNL 50th, which was really nice to see. And...
50th or the 40th?
50th. Oh, sorry. Maybe they were at the 40th, but the 50th is what was just on this year.
Oh, the 50th is what was just on.
Yeah,
I remember you.
Maybe they were at the 40th. Yeah, they might be at the 40th.
Yeah.
He's also I know people don't like me listing off movies, but I'm going to very quickly. I watched him in a movie with Kevin Spacey called Consenting Adults, where he plays a nice man, and Kevin Spacey moves in next door and drives him nuts and frames him for murder.
I think we're going to get a very passive aggressive video message from Kevin Spacey soon.
We are.
Because we're talking too much
How
shit.
dare you grow up,
guys. Talking about me on your podcast.
Yes. His box office numbers are inflated by the fact that he is in the Beauty and the Beast remake as Emma Watson's dad, and he's in the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Uh-huh. He's very good in Definitely Maybe, which I watched recently. He's great in In and Out, where he plays a teacher. This is a real 90s movie. He plays a teacher who realizes that he is gay, and the movie is about that.
That sounds great.
Very charming film. He's in a movie called Dave, where he plays the guy who looks so much like the president that when the president has a stroke, they get him to pretend to be the president.
I did watch the trailer for this.
Which is very good. And yeah, I am a big fan. I have watched. He is my number one most watched actor on Letterboxd of the year. I'm going to watch
2 months in.
Yeah, I'm going to watch a lot more Kline movies this year, and he's just someone I feel like is super underrated, and I now have a real sense of I want to go around and talk about how great Kevin Kline is all the time. I don't have anything to say about Robert De Niro or Morgan Freeman right now. I think we save those discussions for another episode.
I think so.
De Niro is currently starring on the very dull Netflix show Zero Day, where he basically gets to fulfill his fantasy of a president who sees both sides.
That is all he wants.
Yeah. Morgan Freeman's in far more interesting movies than this that we can talk about, so we'll come back to him. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say about Douglas or Kline. I think they're both having some fun in this film, at least. A film which is not amazing. But the poster billing is Douglas, De Niro, Freeman, Kline. It is literally just a black and white image of the four of them wearing suits in front of a black background. It's actually a really nice poster, and it uses this the kind of Vegas-y color scheme of like casino neon-y colors, which I like. The tagline is, "It's going to be legendary." Yes.
The thing is about playing a role where you're just an old guy pottering around is you can show up to set, phone it in, potter around, deliver your lines, and it looks legit.
Absolutely.
This is a very
get
easy
away
thing.
with it. Yes.
They ask you to do nothing physical because the whole thing is that you're old and you can't move. Exactly. So easy Easy performance.
Well, this film only had a budget of $28 million, so the guys didn't charge that much. Although I'd say most of the budget was paying
$5
these for.
each, you think?
They're not getting the same money. That's
Sorry.
That's
Excuse me.
three for Douglas, 3 for De Niro, 2 for Freeman, $800,000 for Kline. Maybe the Kline role could have been played by anybody. That's the thing. He had no leverage here. They could have swapped him out for anyone.
Maybe they all unionized and demanded equal pay.
like the Modern Family cast, minus Ed O'Neill. They could have put Ed O'Neill in this.
Not a movie star.
No, it was made for $28 million and it grossed $134, which is really good. Really big hit. You'd never in a million years would this make that money today. The Letterboxd Top 4 game. I found somebody who has this movie in their top 4 films on Letterboxd of all time.
And you think this is a sincere, I like this movie?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
This person is a normie who seems to have sincere opinions. Okay. There are 27 fans of this movie on Letterboxd, which is the lowest we've had in quite a while. Very
How many
low.
does this have 100,000 logs?
Oh, don't make me check that. I don't care. I'll tell you. It has 62,000 logs.
Jesus.
It's not a movie that you're putting in your top 4 favorite films. It is.
Of course not.
It is like no one's given this more than 3 stars. No. Anyway, I found someone, Ellie Glynn. I think we know like 2 people called Eleanor Glynn, but this is not one of them. This is Ellie Glynn, who has 2 followers, has recently watched 28 Days Later, 4-star review. Benedict Beckham, 4-star review. Has 4 favorite films. Las Vegas is one of the 4. The other 3. One is from 1994, one is from 1999, and one is from 2004. Mm-hmm. The one from 1994 is a hugely iconic film.
Mm-hmm. Pulp Fiction.
No. The other hugely iconic film from 1994.
94.
The tagline: "The world will never be the same once you've seen it through the eyes of blank."
The world will never. Through
this film wins multiple Oscars in 1994. Oscars that Pulp Fiction lost.
Oh.
This is a very iconic film. Very Marmite public opinion on this.
Some people love it, some people hate it.
Absolutely. This is appearing in a lot of Letterboxd top 4s and a lot of 1-star reviews as well. Actually, not that many 1-star reviews, but...
Just give me the tagline again.
The world will never be the same once you've seen it through the eyes of blank.
Is it a person's
title
name?
of the film? The name of the film is the person's name, yeah. And there's an actor on the poster. He is sitting down and he's playing the guy whose name is the title of the film.
Oh, shit.
This is a very famous character. He has a famous catchphrase. He has a famous voice. He has a famous look. Everything about this movie is famous.
Everything about this movie is famous.
I'll tell you some of the supporting cast.
Yeah. Have I seen it?
Oh, for sure. Sally Field's in this movie.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah,
all right. Next up, we have a movie from 1999. Kind of a similar vibe to Forrest Gump, but not the same filmmaker or anything. But similar vibe. No.
Just kind of encapsulates American history.
Kind of. It's for saps. Like it's a film for sappy middle-aged men.
Yeah.
The tagline is blank didn't believe in miracles until the day he met one.
Oh.
1999. I'll give you a spoiler or a clue, which is that this film, the director of this film, made another film a couple years previously in which Morgan Freeman plays a pivotal role. He's not in this, though. Supporting cast of this film includes David Morse, Bonnie Hunt, James Cromwell, Michael Jeter, Michael Clark Duncan, Graham Greene, Sam Rockwell is in this, Barry Pepper, Patricia Clarkson, Harry Dean Stanton. Wow. Much better ensemble than I remembered. This film is over 3 hours long.
It's not Saving Private Ryan.
No, this is you're close though. This is a real
Spielberg.
No, this is a real Orshi.
Hanks in this.
Hanks is the star of this film.
Hanks is the star of this film.
He's not very memorable in it, in my memory. He's fine.
Is he the lead?
He is the lead, but I think that he's like not the strongest part of this.
99 Hanks.
Yeah. This is like kind of a bad film, but I like it.
Castaway. No.
Thomas Newman score.
Toy Story.
No.
What's the tagline?
It's a film for adults. Blank didn't believe in miracles until the day he met one. Sorry, I'll just read the full thing. Paul Edgecombe didn't believe in miracles until the day he met one. This is based on a Stephen King story.
Tell me.
The Green Mile.
Oh, The Green Mile.
Finally, Ellie Glynn's 4th favorite film is from 2004. This is probably one of the most logged films in the history of Letterboxd. The tagline is Once Upon Another Time. This movie is directed by Conrad Vernon, Kelly Asbury, and Andrew Adamson. Directors.
Is that an animated?
This film is animated.
2004.
Yes, a beloved animated film.
Give me the old tag again.
Once Upon Another Time.
Is this Disney?
Nope.
No.
This is a 5-star film.
This is Shrek.
Shrek 2.
Shrek 2.
Once Upon Another Time.
Shrek 2, 2004.
Absolutely.
21 years.
Shrek 2 came out. I went to see it, and Bertie Ahern was on the back of a bus. June 20.
He was like sitting on the bus.
He was, a big ad for him because it was the election.
Yeah.
So Ellie
like,
Glynn's favorite
get out
films,
and-
Forrest Gump, Last Vegas, Green Mile, and Shrek 2.
Birdie says go see Shrek 2.
He does. I do think loving Las Vegas is consistent with Forrest Gump and the Green Mile.
Absolutely.
Sappy nonsense.
Yep.
Will we do the box office very quickly?
Okie dokie.
So, what weekend does this come out?
1st of November, 2013.
All
This
right.
is a winter movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think it came out in Ireland in like January. All right. November 2013.
Now, this did not open number 1.
Okay.
This first film is one that I don't know.
You don't know it. And it's from September, October 2013.
Mm-hmm.
It's not The Counselor.
Nope. Hold on. Just let me get
Interesting.
This is kind of like
Not Captain Phillips.
shit. If I saw, I just like
Not Escape
don't
Plan.
really.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me see if I can.
Those
get
are
it
kind
all.
of good guesses. Is it like a comedy with an all-black cast?
No.
Okay. Interesting.
The tagline. This is not a game.
This is not a game.
This is not a game.
Oh, I don't know. This is not a game. Is it horror?
Despite this, the tagline is kind of a contradiction of the name of the
So
film.
the word game is in the title.
Yeah.
Is it some horror bullshit?
Ender's Game.
Oh, Ender's Game. Harrison Ford. The guy who wrote the book of that hates gay people. Scandal plagued the release.
Ender's Game.
Ben Kingsley, Haley Steinfeld, Asa Butterfield.
Ah.
Boring film.
Asa Butterfield.
Carry on.
Number 2. Okay, this is a kind of a real fight of the old lads. In a
Cool,
sense.
okay.
This is an old themed film.
An old themed film.
And this is in its second week and it still beat Las Vegas.
Oh, right. It's not Escape Plan.
No.
Interesting. But the guys in it are old. Old men or old women?
It's men. It's very much men.
Very much men.
It's not necessarily old men in it, but old men is the theme of
Old
the...
men is the theme.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one. I need more information. Too late for conceptual.
It's got a colon in the title. It's something something and then like the old reference. It's not a... It's like part of a franchise.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
It's like an old themed version of this franchise.
God, an old themed version of a franchise. As in, it's like guys who were young once and now they're back for a new one.
No.
Oh, Jesus.
No. It's like
I don't-
guys who do things and we're like, we're doing an old one this time.
I don't know. That's a really weird one. I'm gonna need more information.
All right.
That's bizarre.
It's not.
What a weird clue.
It's all right. I think there's a bit of going by the real actors' names here, if you can call them actors.
What?
This is not strictly a narrative.
Are they playing? Are they playing actors then?
No, they're playing themselves.
They're playing themselves, but it's a franchise. What?
I don't know if you call it a franchise, but there's multiple of them.
There's multiple of them. They're playing themselves. Jackass.
Yeah.
Okay. Jackass 3D.
No.
Oh, Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Stupid. That's stupid.
Yeah. I couldn't.
There's no way to guess that. Stupid film for idiots.
Real people. Real reaction. Real messed up.
Yeah, I believe it.
86-year-old Irving Zisman is on a journey across America with the most unlikely companion, his 8-year-old grandson.
Not to be confused with Robert De Niro and Dirty Grandpa.
No.
Dirty Fox.
Dirty Fox.
All right.
All right, next we got Las Vegas.
Great. Okay. One more. We're
One more. This is I believe a children's animated thing that shares the name.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2 Revenge of the Leftovers?
No. Shares the name with a famous song.
Freebirds.
Freebirds.
And do you know who's in Freebirds?
Leonard Skinner.
No, there's a funny Irish person in Freebirds.
Brianna Fairburn.
Oh, well, I think it might be, but click in and see. I can't remember.
What do you mean?
It's as in I don't remember who the person is.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No,
thought
I
you
think
were-
Colmeany's in it.
Colmeany's
It's not
in Freebirds.
It's not Brie enough over.
Okay.
Colmeany, I believe, is in Freebirds. Yes, he is, and he plays Miles Standish.
Owen Wilson, Woody Harrelson, Amy Poehler. Jesus, big enough
George
cast.
Takei, Colmeany.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I haven't heard of anyone else.
All right, we've got some. The next few are like films that I believe our friend who we did the top 4 game would like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to guess them? or-
No, tell me.
Gravity,
Sure.
Captain Phillips,
Yes.
12 Years a Slave, and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2.
Revenge of the Leftovers. Yeah.
Revenge of the Leftovers.
So I was on the radio around this time. I was invited on the radio to review 3 films that were new in cinemas.
Yeah.
And the 3 films
What?
I reviewed
By who?
By the Owen Holland and Flirt FM.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I reviewed 3 films.
2013.
And those were on my TY work experience.
Oh, very
And
good.
3 films I reviewed on the radio were Captain Phillips,
Yep.
Cloudy 2, and Escape Plan. Can you guess how many of those films I had actually watched? One.
Only Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
No, Captain Phillips.
Oh, you'd seen Captain
I hadn't
Phillips, okay.
seen Cloudy 2, Revenge of the Leftovers.
I'm sorry, guys, that your illusion of what film criticism
I know,
is
yeah.
has just been completely shattered.
Revenge of the Leftovers, me putting on International Assassin to cleanse the palate
but
after last
to be
week.
fair, the two of us watch every single film we cover on this podcast. Which
We actually do.
We actually do.
We supervise each other, and we have ankle monitors to stop us
All right,
leaving the
all
room.
right, all right,
Thanks
all
for tuning into our Las Vegas episode.
We drop some future projects.
Drop future projects. Yes, you can check out this week's episode of No Encore, which I hopefully will have appeared on, discussing my top 5 Oscar-winning original songs, which we'll link in the show notes. And more exciting things to come.
More things.
More things to come.
Potential more invites to the boy party.
Yes, exactly. You can check out last week's great episode, which is the Golden Boy Awards
Yeah.
2025, where we talk about our best and worst, our best performances and films of the year. The Oscars will have happened by the time you hear this, so congratulations to Conclave and North, Bruce, Amelia Perez, Wicked. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week with more boys, more parties, and a real good time. Thanks for tuning in. BoyPartyPod.com. Goodbye.